They live between sunlight and shadow. Creatures carved by time itself, scaled remnants of an ancient world that once ruled the earth. Today, they rest behind glass walls in quiet American homes, not as trophies, not as monsters, but as companions. Reptiles, the silent guardians of the living room. There is no bark when you enter the room. No fluttering rush to greet you. Only a slow, deliberate gaze from eyes older than history. They don't beg for affection. They don't chase. They simply exist, and in that stillness, there is something strangely peaceful. Bearded dragons, with their calm, regal poise, sit beneath the warm glow of a lamp as if guarding the last light of the desert. Geckos cling to smooth stones, blinking once, slow, patient, as though they measure time differently than we do. A turtle slides through clear water like a drifting thought, quiet and weightless. A snake coils gracefully, not in threat, but in a rhythm that feels almost meditative. They are the opposite of everything we usually love. No fur, no sound, no open display of emotion. And yet millions of Americans have welcomed them into their homes, into their hearts. Because sometimes what we need most isn't noise or energy. Sometimes we crave calm. And reptiles, in their perfect silence, give us that. Every reptile tank is its own universe. Warm sand, a branch, a stone, a pool of water, a small sun in the form of a lamp. Each detail crafted with care. The keeper becomes the creator, balancing temperature, humidity, and light. To love a reptile is to become a student of patience. You learn that trust cannot be forced. You earn it, slowly, with stillness, with time, with understanding. Watch a bearded dragon stare back at you. You'll feel something ancient in that look, not love, not fear, recognition. It sees you as you are, stripped of your noise and hurry. In its unblinking eyes, you find yourself slowing down, breathing softer. You start to match its rhythm, calm, steady, alive. The gecko waits for the night. When the lights dim, it moves like liquid shadow, exploring every inch of its world. It doesn't seek your attention, yet when it pauses under your gaze, you sense a quiet connection. A bridge between your human world of movement and its realm of patience. Then there is the turtle, a creature that carries its home wherever it goes. It reminds us that protection and vulnerability are not opposites but companions. Its shell is armor, but also identity. To watch it eat, rest, and breathe is to watch the embodiment of endurance. It has seen ages pass, the rise of mountains, the fall of empires, and still, it moves at its own pace. Snakes, perhaps the most misunderstood of all, are poetry in motion. They move without limbs, without sound, yet with such grace that every motion feels intentional. For centuries, they have been symbols of fear, wisdom, and rebirth. But hold one gently, and you'll realize how fragile they truly are. The warmth of your skin becomes their sun. And for a moment, predator and prey, myth and man, dissolve into simple coexistence. Reptiles teach us that affection is not always shown through noise or play. It is found in presence, in the small moments of mutual stillness. They remind us that peace is not the absence of movement, but the mastery of it. In American homes today, from desert states to northern cities, these cold-blooded beings are quietly reshaping the idea of companionship. Children learn responsibility through feeding routines and habitat care. Adults find relief in the quiet maintenance of a terrarium, a ritual that feels more like meditation than work. Even the simple act of changing a heat bulb becomes a conversation with nature's design. Perhaps that is their real gift. They bring the wild back into our walls. Not the loud wild of roaring beasts, but the subtle wild, the pulse of the earth itself, slowed to the pace of patience. They remind us that we, too, are animals trying to find warmth in a cold world. Look closer at their scales, patterns carved like stories. Every ridge, every shimmer, is a page from evolution's oldest book. When they shed their skin, it isn't decay, it's renewal. A quiet metaphor for change, for letting go, for becoming new again. The world often labels them as cold. But that's only half the truth. They are cold-blooded, yes, but not cold-hearted. Their warmth comes from elsewhere, from the sun, from the earth, from the care of human hands that choose to see beauty where others see fear. In a society that rushes, reptiles wait. In a culture that shouts, they whisper. And in a world obsessed with affection, they offer acceptance. They don't pretend to love us. They simply exist beside us, and in their existence, they teach us to love differently, without expectation, without demand, without noise. When you sit before a terrarium and watch a snake move through the light, when you see a gecko pause mid-step, or a turtle stretch its neck toward the sun, you realize something profound. There's more to life than sound and motion. There is beauty in restraint, depth in silence, warmth in what we call cold. These are not pets for everyone. They require precision, respect, and care. But for those who open their hearts to them, reptiles become mirrors of patience. They hold within their ancient eyes the memory of Earth itself. They've survived every storm history has thrown at them. And still, they remain calm, silent, alive. So the next time you pass a glass tank glowing softly in someone's living room, pause for a moment. Look closer. Inside that small world lies a connection older than words. A reminder that love wears many forms. And that sometimes, the quietest souls are the ones who teach us the loudest lessons. Because even the coldest heart can hold the warmest kind of love.